we are talking about one Nigeria, we will start to address issues. Ibeto cement must come back. That's a statement and a prophecy. Ojukwu supposed to be celebrating in Igbo land, even once in a year. Because this young man opened our eyes area, and East must stop using Dangote cement. It's a warning. Ibeto cement must come back, and the East must stop using Dangote cement. If we are talking about one Nigeria, we will start to address issues. And all this partiality must be stopped. Because of Dangote cement, the Ibeto cement was total silent. I have repeated again, Ibeto cement must come back if Nigeria wanted that peace. Dangote cement must stop existing in the East. And this young man set up a factory with his money, but because of selfish interest of a government in Nigeria, they destroy his own factory cement because of somebody. That's a statement and a prophecy and a voice of the prophet. Dangote cement will be stopped coming to the East. This cement of Ibeto must come back. The factory was total down, and I'm worried why that cement cannot come back. I remember that time the cement come out. The cement challenges a lot of cements. It brings a lot of cements down. You know, in this country, we don't like when poor people benefiting. If in the country, if this country find what we benefit the poor. Ojukwu, the 31 years. I can't forget this man. That is my father, sir. 31 years to submit his life for truth. If you know what the man rejected, to fight for your own freedom. If it's Ojukwu want, Ojukwu for say, let us be doing the business, and they will give him a slot, and he will be one of the Nigerian president. And after that, he will go home, carry his money. But Ojukwu say no.
Please, before we continue with the video, do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button.
This is not favoring my people. No. 31 years old. I always respect him. We cannot forget icons. I know many people are making you to be hating such people. Don't. It's our heroes. Ojukwu supposed to be celebrating in Igbo land, even once in a year. Ojukwu supposed to be celebrating in Igbo land, even once in a year. Because this young man opened our eyes area. Everything that make Ojukwu to enter into fight, decided to battle, is happening today in everybody's eyes. If not that good rock is in power, Ojukwu shall be buried as nothing. Come on, we will sigh to bribe, follow in on entities, follow businessmen that are looking for their stomach. When you do a good job, we can never forget you in this life. That's why we could see cement in one night. The factory must show the factory of that cement. The factory are like that. We are fathers. We are talking about the future of our children, future of the youth of Nigeria. How we
please, before we continue with the video, do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button.
Shall work it out so that all the youth of Nigerians will have their light and enjoy their resources for themselves, not to enlishing the personal old men's. The kind money they borrow in the head of you and I in this government of Tinu, borrow without conscience. What of our age, 30, 40, what have we done? So when I remember that age of Ojukwu, our fathers, These people are struggling and only agent to him. Many of them do not carry gun, but are sick. Oh, God, no one is here. Mbuchenya bona welondo nya for freedom oma nwa mukunito mana mpia jelaga for your freedom. Obona your father man, and what Nigeria is doing to them is good. All of them.
Please, before we continue with the video, do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button.
I support Ojukwu, but they saw that everything that this country is doing for them, Igbo people, they are not involved in anything, got no benefit. Every benefit and that we are benefiting by the governors. These are the people who take the money, because those benefits they say allocation or allocema. I don't see a being with the 24 hours light in Igbo land, and a full mono bridge, a good road, and I have not seen where the international airport youth empowerment, and where youth empowerment, the youth are patana internet and I confess we have this, we're doing this. Nothing. We don't come out, we don't speak things because we want to talk. We are talking from innermost spiritual mind of God.
When the Gowon government found its footing and was ready to continue the conference, the Eastern Region delegation refused to return to the conference, fearing for their safety in Lagos. By this time, the Igbo nation was preparing for war. At the same time, Ojukwu refused to attend meetings of the Supreme Military Council, stating that he would not appear anywhere in Nigeria having the presence of northern soldiers. I quote him, "I, as the military governor of the East, cannot meet anywhere in Nigeria where there are northern troops." Because at this point, people were calling for negotiation. Ojukwu, meet with Gowon. Let's talk. Ojukwu said, "No way. I am not going to Lagos to meet Gowon. I'm not going anywhere in Nigeria after seeing what they have done to my people in the north." Ojukwu also turned down the ideas of a meeting in a British naval ship or in Benin. Going outside the country for a meeting became an acceptable option by both sides. Aburi in Ghana would do, and General Joseph Ankara dispatched a Ghanaian Air Force plane to fly the Eastern Region delegation from Enugu to Ghana. In Ghana, the discussion started. But before going to Ghana, when Ojukwu saw that his suggestions on how to attain a peaceful resolution of the fallout of the bloody coups of January and July 1966 were not accommodated by the Gowon-led federal government, the meeting in Aburi in Ghana became to him the last chance for peace. Ojukwu said that the decisions agreed on could have saved the situation, but again, Gowon was badly advised. It was the meeting of the members of the Supreme Military Council of Nigeria, held in Aburi, Ghana, on the 4th and 5th of January 1967. It was the first time all members of the Supreme Military Council were meeting in 6 months. The chairman of the Ghana National Liberation Council, Lieutenant General Joseph Ankara, declared the Aburi meeting open. He welcomed the visitors to Ghana and called for the amicable resolution of the issues bedeviling Nigeria. After his address, he vacated the conference room, leaving the Nigerian military officers to resolve their quarrel. Who were the military officers in that meeting? Ojukwu, as the governor of the Eastern Region, was there. Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, the head of state, was there. Commander Joseph Akinwale, commander of the Navy, was in that meeting. Colonel Robert Adeyinka Adebayo, the governor of the Western Region, was in Aburi. Lieutenant Colonel Usman Hassan Katsina, the governor of the Northern Region, was in Aburi. Also in Aburi was the governor of the Midwest Region, Lieutenant Colonel David Ejo. Major Mobolaji Johnson, governor of Lagos, was in the Aburi meeting. The Inspector General of Police of Nigeria, Alhaji Kam Saleh, was part of the Aburi discourse. Also part of the discourse was the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Timothy Omopare. There were other civilians from both sides in the meeting. It was a rich discourse. At the meeting, Ojukwu condemned arms build-up by Nigeria in preparation for war. He accused the federal military government of paying $1 million for some arms bought from Italy and stored in Kaduna. Ojukwu called for the renunciation of the use of force in the settlement of the dispute. Ojukwu and the Eastern region were also alleged by the federal military government of stockpiling arms. Gowon and company suspected that the plane carrying arms that crashed on the Cameroon's border was destined for Enugu. But Ojukwu denied the allegation. Having set the right tone for the debate, the combatants reaffirmed their faith in discussions and negotiation as the only peaceful way of resolving the Nigerian crisis. And they agreed on the following points. 1. They agreed that a military committee comprising representatives of the regions should meet to take statistics of arms and ammunition in the country. They agreed that these arms, unallocated, should be held and shared equitably between the various commands in the Federation. So you know what this means? Ojukwu was able to convince the Nigerian delegation that the army, that means the East, should have its own army, the North should have its own army, the Midwest should have its own army, and the Western region should have its own army. You know, when you have your own army like that, what remains? That means the country is gone. Gowon agreed. Did Ojukwu sweet talk them? Number 2, they agreed that the army should be reorganized in order to restore discipline and confidence specifically. So under this number 2, the army should be governed by the Supreme Military Council, which would be chaired by a Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the head of the federal military government. So subsection 2, they agreed that area commands under area commanders and corresponding to existing regions should be created. That means each region should have a command of the army. In subsection C of 2, they agreed that during the period of the military government, military governors should have control over area commands for internal security. You know, Ojukwu came prepared. So he bamboozled Gowon and his team. They didn't know when they were agreeing to all his terms. Under subsection 2, they agreed in Aburi that a military headquarters comprising equal representation from the regions and headed by a chief of staff should be established. They also agreed that a Lagos garrison, including Ikeja barracks, should be created.
You see, a lot of people they surprised about what Odumeje is saying. Yes, I know that a lot of us might not be Ndoka and a lot of us might not be going to church, but there's something that we must state first, and which is Biafra. Biafra believe in honesty. Whenever you say truth, that's where Biafra stand. So Biafra does not discriminate, or either did he segregate whether you're a religious person or church or here. But come out in the quick yoku. If we hear our brother Odumeje, I know that although people are surprised that Odumeje can be serious like this and he can even spit the fact. Well, for many of us who normally come across his clip on TikTok, yes, most of us now who clip here on TikTok, you know, yes, and a lot of people now who say we're prophet, and they going to the comment section, I see how people we are commenting, you know, how come is this an AI? Well, sorry to disappoint you people, it's not an AI. But let's dive into the matter which is more serious, which is him talking about Ojukwu and what Ojukwu did for Ndi-Igbo, and why Ojukwu have to be appreciated every time of the year. At least what he said was very, very reality. And it's quite unfortunate that most times we don't take our time to celebrate those who seems to be our hero. And I know that many of us might argue, and for many Gen Zs doesn't know that The life that we are living today and living freely as an Igbo man is because Ojukwu laid down his life. Despite that, all these old folks, people like Obasanjo and the rest of them, they always come out to spin the thing around. But thank God they are still coming out in their numbers to clear the air that Ojukwu never caused any war. Ojukwu never caused any war. Rather, Ojukwu wants a place where everybody will be included. He wants an inclusive Nigeria where both the Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba will be having a fair share of the national resources. And he even made it very clear, let every region be on their own and let's have a one particular state, like the way they practice in Britain, where London have their own government, Ireland have their own government, Scotland have their own government, Wales have their own government. That's the kind of government that Ojukwu intend to build, so that each region will be having their control of its resources. But they said no. What did Gowon did when they traveled to Ghana? That's the Aburi time, to talk about the resolution, when Ojukwu have failed many times not to leave Biafra land. Because what is the issue? My people are being slaughtered. My people are being treated unfair. Can these people have inclusiveness? That was that become the problem. Unu ma that Ndi-Igbo say nwata bido chọwa nke ya ọ bụrụ ajọ nwa, and ọkwa ihe ejikwa Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na Sokoto prison maka o biri kwuo sị mba, otu nuche emegbu ndị a adịghị mma, na anyị chọrọ second river Niger to be completed. Anyị chọrọ seaport ka achọrọ ka arụzie obunga niile nga, ka arụzie elu rụzie ala, rụzie ụlọ akwụkwọ, rụzie hospital. Ndị Nigeria say mba, ọkwa ihe ahịa ka na-afọ ịchọ ka till tomorrow. Let's have an inclusiveness. If you say that Nigeria is united in diversity, but with what we are seeing in reality, is it true that Nigeria is united in diversity? Share your own opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video to all social media platforms.